broadcasting. Touchdowns. Shut your mouth, broadcasting. First round draft pick. Believe we got stats, kid. Quarterback stacking. 100-yard dashing. So tap in for the action. What teams got traction?
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Instant Reaction Report. I'm your co-host, Sirik, and I'm always joined by my co-host, Ron. What up, Ron?
What's going on?
You know what we do, and today, Ron, I think we should start with the Pittsburgh Steelers because there's a lot more to say about them than there is about the Patriots. So, Ron, what happened? Tell us what happened. Why couldn't they just go and take care of business?
Horrible. They came out flat. Lots of penalties. Mason Cole snapped the ball into the ground at least 3 times. Just killed ourselves, just undisciplined, unprepared team. Started off okay, had a good first drive to start the game, but penalties and bad snaps just killed us, and we had to settle for a field goal, and from there we couldn't score again. It's just not good football. To add injury to insult, or insult to injury, literally tons of players got hurt today. So, sucks. Just a bad performance all around. Probably the worst Steelers games I've seen in 3-4 years.
So I texted you, is it time for Tomlin to go? And you were hesitant because you did this, well, if we don't make the playoffs again, maybe. And I just wanted, after what you witnessed today, is it time for him to go? Or are you willing to extend that olive branch?
We need to play out the season. Let's see where we go for this season, right? So this team could still make the playoffs, which is fine. That's, been the standard. We need to win a playoff game. If we get to the playoffs and get beaten or blown out or whatever, then yeah, it is time. It's time to move on because what we're doing hasn't worked for the past 7 years. It's great that we're winning the regular season. That's fine and dandy, but it doesn't mean anything. That's supposed to be our standard. So I think it's time for a regime change. I would make the move if I'm the owner. But I know it's going to be an unpopular, move because the national media loves Mike Tomlin.
Why do you think the national media loves Tomlin so much? Because, like you said earlier, they haven't won a playoff game in 7 years. He hasn't had a losing record, but is that enough? Is that enough to keep him around?
It's not. Maybe for other teams, yes, but not the Steelers. He can go on another team, and then I think, the team should be satisfied with that. And it's not to say Tomlin's I think he's an okay coach. Not an X's and O's guy, but he can survive somewhere else and flourish somewhere else. But we need, Steelers deserve a team and a coach that wins playoff games. The standard's the same in Dallas, right? We talk every year about the Cowboys and how they're supposed to be America's team, and the standard for them is getting to a Super Bowl and winning a Super Bowl. It's no different for the Steelers, and we haven't done that in a long time. So, I just think, like I said, it's let's see how the season plays out. Today's loss, without a doubt, is on the coaches for not having the players prepared, for having costly mental errors, penalties. That's all on coaching. And then the decision to play Minka this game, he breaks his hand, he put him back in the game, he finishes the game with a broken hand. To put TJ Watt back in the game when he gets hurt, the game was, we had gotten out of control at that point. You put him back in the game. The decisions to keep Mason Cole in the game, not bench him for a different center. Killebrew had 3 penalties on special team. You don't bench him. I'm not saying making a move, would have changed the outcome. but you got to show me that you're at least making an effort and doing your job as a coach. And I don't think he did his job as a coach today.
And this was a home, right? You guys were at home today.
Yeah, home game.
Yeah, this is
disappointing.
It's very disappointing. I still like the Steelers to win that division because I think Baltimore, did they have a bye week?
There's a bye week.
Yeah.
And Cleveland's playing now. I don't know what the score is, but there's no way you can pick the Steelers to win. This should have been an easy win today, right? Lost to the second worst team in the league. Not just lost, we got blown out by the second worst team in the league. So I don't see how you can pick them to win the division.
I picked them because they can beat Baltimore, and I don't think Baltimore is,
I don't think I would not put my house. I wouldn't put anything. I wouldn't put $5 down on the Steelers beating the Patriots on Thursday.
Well, we're going to talk about that, when we do the show on Wednesday. But I just have this strong feeling, and it all depends on whether or not Pickett is going to be out for a long time. But I still like the Steelers. I still like Tomlin to win a couple of games. I think that the loss this week kind of set them back, but I don't think they're completely out of the playoffs.
No,
Yeah,
they're not out. They're definitely not mathematically out of it. They still got the easiest schedule, but at the end of the day, schedule doesn't make a difference. You can put a college team out there. You play down to your competition, you're going to get beat. Doesn't matter if you got professionals and they got amateurs, right? You play down to your competition like we do. It seems like at least 2 or 3 times a year, you're going to get beat, and that's that's what happened today. It could be what happens on Thursday. It could be what happens after that. With the next crappy team play. So,
well, I'll tell you this: if you end up losing on Thursday, Tomlin should not show his face in Pittsburgh because Thursday should be a cakewalk. Thursday's game should be a cakewalk.
Today should have been a cakewalk, and
today should have been a cakewalk.
Back in my mind, I'm like, no game cakewalk. A lot of people, saying, "Oh, the Steelers could break out, score 30 points or whatever." That was a pipe dream. There's no way.
Well, I didn't see 30 points. 30 points was fantasy land for sure. I just wanted them to be competitive tonight, and I wanted them to beat Arizona convincingly. So if this is a bad team, we got to take care of business, and they didn't do that, and now questioning whether they're going to have a playoff game at home or they have a playoff game on the road. It looks like Cleveland is losing by 1 point, but there's a lot of time left in the fourth quarter. So I think that the season is still very salvageable, especially what you mentioned earlier. They have an easy schedule ahead.
Yeah.
So I still holding out hope for the Steelers to break through. Ron, let's talk about the Pats because I know I'm not a big believer in players tanking, but today I actually saw it was and I remember the play. It was the fourth quarter. Patriots had the ball on the Chargers 30. It was 4th and 5. I was wondering, hey, this could be a good chance to just get a field goal, 3-6, and just let the defense handle, because the defense has been handling pretty well all game.
Mm-hmm.
All game, so whatever reason, Staley decided not to have Justin Herbert throw the ball. I know there was a couple of players that they were missing, but 4th and 5, there's no field goal. Instead, they went for it. Of course, Sappy got sacked, and they took over the ball. They got the ball back with less than 2 minutes. Again, same thing. Turn it over on downs. So, in your estimation, Ron, didn't Bill Belichick just give up on the team, the kicker, basically everybody that wanted them to win. I know the weather condition was terrible, but why not go for it? You lost all hope even on your kicker. And on your kicker, it would have been like a 45-ish field goal. Why not? Why just not kick it and then let your defense, get the ball back? Why do that?
I can't answer that, man. I would say Belichick gave up on the team. I think the players probably give it up on the season, right? That's what happens when you lose. You play terrible football, you lose, and that just breeds more losing. So, they just have like tuned him out, I think, and whether or not they kick the field goal there or not, at the end of the day, they had 0 points, right, against the Chargers. They got shut out. That should not happen at the NFL level. They got a serious situation with the offensive side of the ball, and I don't care who you put back there. I don't think it's going to make a difference, right?
It's not going to make a difference.
It's not Zappy. It's not Mac. It's not the quarterback. It's something else going on there on the offensive side of the ball. And, we'll see if Belichick survives the end of the season. What happens? They go in with 4 wins. What can they possibly get for wins by the end of the year? They're not going to get past 4 wins, I don't think.
I know. I fully believe that 2 wins is as far as they're going to get, because they're not going to beat Denver. They're not going to beat the Jets. They're definitely not beating Buffalo. So, and they're definitely not beating this. I mean, the Steelers, 4 days till the next game. I mean, they should not beat the Steelers. They should not. So it's like where the victory is coming. Well, they definitely want to have a high draft pick, and this is the only way that they're gonna do, basically by not kicking field goals, by the offensive line is terrible. Bailey Zappi did not have a chance. I mean, there was some play actions that kind of worked, but other than that, he had no time to pass. He ran all the time. It just, I don't know. I know this team is, even if they get a spark, even if they get a top 5 pick, one player is not going to fix everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way for the Steelers. I don't think it's a personnel issue because we got a lot of talent. Our defense is loaded. Offensively, we got some good players, young players, but good players. 2 really good running backs. It's just there's something missing besides the players. So it doesn't matter who we draft. You got to fix the culture, and we got to get back into playing Steelers football. It's been years we played Steelers football. We go a couple games with winning, and then we'd lose to a terrible team. And we got to get out of that habit of just playing down to our competition, and we got to get back to putting teams away, winning games that we're supposed to. So for the Patriots and the Steelers, I can't wait for the season to be over so we can just figure out what the next move is for both of these teams.
Not only that, but it's do they need new coaching staff for both teams? Do they need, a whole front office rebuild? It's almost like you need to have the wipe the slate clean and just start over. Mm-hmm. But by doing that, there can be you're taking a chance basically, because then the team could be terrible for the next 5 years. So, and looking at the Pats,
and I'm okay with that.
You're okay with your team being a Carolina?
I'm okay with that.
I just don't think that Robert Kraft has the willpower to press reset not the willpower. He's just like, I think he's just like a lot of like rich guys, CEOs, whatever, that he just wants to delegate. He doesn't want to do like the everyday football. He just wants to put somebody in charge to do that. And if that person is failing, then you replace him. But why hasn't Bill been replaced? That's what I mean. It's like you have owners that meddle in everything, a la the Cowboys, a la Carolina. But then you have owners that they don't want anything to do with the football part of it. They just want to show up on Sunday, look good. They want to show up in practice, look good, but they want nothing to do with the football, operations. So, I mean, would you say the same thing about the Rooney?
I don't know what to say about the it's different, right? We had the original Rooney passed away, and they've changed ownerships, I think, twice now in the last like 10, 12 years. So I don't know what to say if they feel the same way about the standard being the standard. I don't know. I don't think we'll know until we see some sort of change. Maybe they're okay with winning the regular season, right, and making the playoffs and getting bounced out every first game. Maybe they're okay with that. But hopefully not. Hopefully they understand that the Steeler Nation, has a large presence, and we are, along with Dallas, America's. And, the expectation needs to be much higher for our team.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just a fan complaining about the Patriots, the last 5 years. The last 20 years, it was great. I have no qualms with how it was handled. And even in the 90s, I have no qualm about how it was handled. But, I feel like today's fan, the young generation, like the under 30, they just have no patience whatsoever with the process. Why aren't you winning now? Why aren't you, why aren't we getting the Super Bowls? Listen, it's very, very hard to win a championship, especially in the NFL. Very hard. And it's like, if you don't understand that, then maybe you're going to pull your hair out, basically. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
So tonight's game, Kansas City, Green Bay, and you picked Green Bay to get the upset, right? I have a feeling
that was my upset special right there.
Depending on the weather, I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a low-scoring game, a very low-scoring game.
Yeah, I think you cut out a little bit, but I agree. I see the weather, and it's. I don't know, to be honest with you, how low-scoring both these teams are familiar with snow and bad weather, so they can go up there and each put up 20-something points. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Should be a good game though, but hopefully better than this Eagles game.
Hey guys, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to hit us up on shutyourmouthpodcast@gmail.com. That's shutympodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us on Twitter or on Instagram at SYM Podcast. Thanks again.